Okay, so I was talking about this yesterday, and I wanted to go ahead and get into it just to get this out of the way because I like telling stories about my life. It's fun, and I don't give a fuck if you don't want to listen to it. You can just click off the fucking video, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The earliest one I had was I called this girl Jaylene Morris a turkey. She was messing with my friend, and this is back when we didn't like girls because we were kids. We were playing with like Play-Doh and Pokemon, and just shit like Nintendo 64. Like that was the height of our life. This actually happened the first day of summer after fifth grade. I will never forget that. I was hanging out I called him Nat Nat, but I was hanging out at Nat Nat's house, and she chased him up a tree or some shit, and I called her a turkey, trying to insult her, and she grabbed like this cement from the bottom of a stop sign or whatever, and she smashed it into my skull, and I didn't fall over. I did kind of stumble a little bit, and I was wearing this red hat. I forgot what was on the hat, but it was a red hat. I'll never forget that. And I felt something tripling down my shoulder, and I thought it was like dirt or something, like it was a dirt clog or something she hit me with. And there were these girls sitting on this porch like across the street. I was trying to act cool, like oh, well, that didn't hurt, like that had knocked me down. And this tripling stuff was going down my shoulder, and I looked down, and I realized it was blood. I was like, and I passed out. And I guess they got a hold of my grandma. So my grandma came and picked me up, took me back to her house, and she laid me down on the floor, and I was watching Wheel of Fortune or something like that. And she left me there to go get lottery tickets, and I was literally bleeding out. There's like this big puddle of blood I was laying in, and I guess I was twitching or something. I don't know. I don't remember all that detail. But my mom just happened to show up to come get me, and she saw me laying there in blood and freaked the fuck out and took me to the hospital. I'm assuming I went to the ER. I don't really remember. I was very, very small. I go to the ER, and they had to do surgery on my scalp or whatever. I don't know. Like staples or stitches. I don't remember. Like I said, it's been a while. But yeah, that was my first real close to death. I actually had an incident before that where this guy tried to abduct me out of my front yard. And I've heard two conflicting stories on this part of like how it ended. One, I heard that my dad beat the fuck out of the dude and he got arrested. The other one, I heard that my dad chased him down the road. So I don't know which is which. I'm going to assume that was close to death too. I don't know. I could have just been abducted for rape or child trafficking. I don't know. It kind of reflects on why I hate that kind of shit. It goes back. I got hit by a car, a truck. I'm sorry, it was a truck. We were filming our first videos back before I ever even got onto YouTube. We were making a zombie movie for MySpace, and one of the things that we had to do is we had to volunteer to get hit by a truck. And so I did it the first time. We actually filmed this twice because I didn't enjoy getting hit necessarily. I mean, who would? But basically my friend Derek was driving his pickup truck going about 30-40 miles an hour down the road, and I was supposed to be like one of the zombies that come out of the forest or whatever, and he fucking hit me, and he knocked my ass down. And obviously, I actually didn't get hurt too bad, but I did fucking ricochet off of like a stump on the road. And we actually got my friend Buddha to do it the second time, and Buddha actually did it a lot bigger. He was a lot bigger than I was. He was a big, tall, fat dude. And he kind of bounced off of the fucking truck, and it didn't hurt him too much at all. I was this scrawny. When I was 18, I was like 120 pounds. I was 6'2", 120 pounds, like very, very underweight. So it fucking sucked, man. I've also been lit on fire. I was asleep at my friend's house, and we're still friends too. And I wouldn't wake up, so he threw this liquid on me and then lit my ass on fire when I was asleep. And I just remember like feeling my leg felt really bad. So I woke up and I was just like trying to put it out, but it spread all over me because I guess my whole body was covered. I don't know. I actually didn't get burnt though. Here's the thing. I did not get burnt. I did catch his fucking couch on fire. I did catch his entertainment center on fire. But I did get out of my clothes, and somehow I didn't get burnt. And if that's not a religious awakening experience right there, I don't know what is, but too bad I'm not religious, so I never fell into the church thing. But that could have been a big sign from God, like, hey, I'm alive, This scar right here, if you can see it, people always ask me, like, how did I get that? And I always tell them, oh, it's from thumping quarters. Because me and the same guy who lit me on fire too, by the way, me and my friend Joe would be thumping quarters, and he thumped one and it got stuck in my head. That's what I always tell people. But what actually happened was I thought I got a girl pregnant when I was 17, and I was staying the night at my friend Joe's house when we were playing Halo 2, but we were doing the thing where you have to do split screen. So his idea of like how to counter this was to get a TV in the other bedroom so we could play Halo 2 without cheating. So I was in his room, he was in his brother's room, and I had a job interview for Burger King. I was trying to work at Burger King because I thought I was going to be a dad. I was freaking out. So I had to cut all my long black hair off because I used to have long hair. I was in a band, so I had to cut that shit off. And I was like, oh, I have to grow up really quickly, have to face the real world. I'm gonna, like, I was panicking, man, you know? I didn't know how to be a dad. I didn't even know how to be a teenager. Uh, he had all my clothes inside of his room, and I was trying to get my proper clothing on. And he wouldn't open up the door. I guess he thought I was trying to cheat at Halo or something. I don't really know. So I was like trying to get in. He wouldn't open up the door. I was yelling at him. He wouldn't open up the door. He had this fucking keyhole underneath the doorknob. So I'm like looking through the keyhole. Well, he was ready for me. He had a metal coat hanger that he had, I guess, like broken or whatever, and he jammed it through the peephole. It would have taken my eye out. I don't know if he would have stabbed me. It would have went through my brain. I don't know how hard you could do that with somebody, but he caught me in the forehead right here, and it stuck in. So when he pulled out, it was just blood shooting out everywhere. And I did not go to my interview, needless to say. Yeah, there's that. Also, funny enough, with Joe as well, I know a lot of these stories seem to be happening with this guy. We're still friends somehow. This is the one story I always like to tell people the most, because it was probably the most painful thing that's ever happened to me. We were 16, we were watching, if you ever heard the song For Sure by the Medic Droid, we were listening to that song like pretty much the whole day. And I was dating this girl named Whitney, and she was on her period, and it was like a very sensitive thing, I guess. As a teenager, you don't want to talk about that. It's like ucky, you know, like we don't talk about that shit. It's gross. Girls don't do that. I don't remember, man. But it was also during the time when Two Girls, One Cup came out. So we were watching Two Girls, One Cup like 3 times. And by the 3rd time, I was just eating food, like watching it. It didn't bother me. Like, it wasn't disgusting at that point because I'd already seen it. I'd been desensitized. But he was talking about her period or whatever, and I got very pissed off about that. So I screamed at him, and I was yelling at him so much, I didn't even realize he fucking swung at me. So I'm yelling at him, all of a sudden my head's like that. I didn't even see him fucking move his arm. So my first initial reaction to do after he punched me is to fucking spear tackle his ass. So I did. I tackled Joe, and we're on the ground punching each other in the face. And his sister's like yelling at me saying she's going to call the police, so I need to fucking leave. And so I got up and I was walking out the door. I was like, fine, fuck you guys. I don't want to be here anyways. I don't think he did this on purpose. And it's going to sound like he did, but I don't think he had the intention of hitting me. I think he was just in one of those moments where he was mad and he was throwing shit. I can't even tell you if I won the fight or if he won the fight. I feel like we were even, but I hit him in the face more and he hit me. I know that. But he was also on top of me, like hitting me, or trying to hit me more. But I think he was just mad at the moment, but he grabbed his fucking hunting knife he had on the table and fucking threw it. And he actually speared me in the back. I have the scar on my back. It's about this big. I remember he hit me and I was like, ah! I fell and hit the door and slid down on my face. And I had to go to the hospital over that. It went in me about, I think, like this much. Yeah, he hit me with a fucking hunting knife. Most painful fucking thing. You ever been stabbed? It's not fun. I've talked about this on my channel too, I believe, because one of my comments said that I've said it before. I don't remember talking about it, but I have my friend who just says that this never happened, but it fucking 100% did. We were in this car with my friend Thomas, and he was trying to act all cool in front of some girls on the phone or whatever, and you know, I'm like one of those people now, especially back then too, where I just don't really fucking care and I will insult you if I feel like I need to. He was acting really like, oh yeah, girl, I'm so fucking cool. Like, Thomas, you're not fucking cool, dude. So I called him a faggot, and he pulls out this fucking gun from underneath his seat and jammed it to my head. And he's like, say it again. And I was just like, bruh, like what's happening? So he takes us back to my apartment, and I'm not saying a word at this point because I'm kind of like startled, like what the fuck just happened? Like I couldn't believe something like that just happened over a comment like that. So I get out of the car, and he's getting out of the car too, and he's just following me up to my apartment. I'm just kind of like, I was like 19 or something, and we go back in my house, and this motherfucker makes me macaroni and cheese for dinner. And I say I came close to death that day because I had a fucking gun lodged to my temple. So, you know, there's that. Um, I have been hit by a semi truck. So I have a whole list of the stuff that's happened to me. I'm trying to read it one at a time. I got hit by a semi truck about 3 years ago when I was driving from my girlfriend's house, a different girl. But I stayed the night at her house and I had to go to work, and she lived like 2 hours away. So I was driving home, and it was in the middle of the rain, and now I have anxiety. Like, I don't really believe in anxiety. I don't think anxiety is a real thing, but I'm going to say I have anxiety whenever it rains because I don't want to ever go through that again. Yeah, don't ask me about the anxiety thing. I don't feel like getting into it. I feel like it's just an excuse for people to be like passive aggressive beta males or some shit. I have a different mindset than you. But I was driving my truck, and this fucking semi, I was speeding like 80 miles an hour on the highway in the middle of the rain. But this semi truck splashed water on my car, so my car started doing the spinning thing. I hydroplaned, and my expression was literally this. I didn't freak out. I wasn't screaming, oh my god, oh my god. And this other semi comes and hits the back end of my car. So my car spins off into the fucking ditch. And I'm just sitting there like this. Like I had no fucking expression on my face. I just was thinking like, alright, I guess I'm dead. And this not fire truck, this firefighter starts banging on the glass, telling me, like, are you okay? Are you hurt? And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm fine. I just can't get my car I just can't get my car to like move or whatever. And he's like, you got it in neutral, sir. And I was like, what the fuck? They got me out of the ditch or whatever, and my car was like smashed to fucking hell, but I was still able to drive it. So I drove it home. I actually went to work like immediately afterwards too, and I got to work. I was just kind of like, all right, I'm here. Uh, I've already talked. I know I've talked about this one where I did my wrist. Went like that whenever me and this girl broke up. Back when I was like 20, I think. And I went and had this tattoo covering it up so people don't ask me about it. But you can still kind of see the very tip of it right there starting. And if you look very carefully, you can see it going down the tattoo. But I know I've already talked about that one. Let's see, what else do I have here? There's a couple more. The last one I guess I'm going to talk about was probably the most recent one. Actually, no, I got one that happened a couple weeks ago. I actually never talked about it on my channel. So last year, not the January we just had, but the one from 2019, I had this really bad infection build up in my mouth. And yes, I brushed my teeth. I don't want to fucking hear that as a comment or whatever. Like, oh, you need to take a better care. Yeah, I take care of my teeth. I just have a bad ordeal with this shit. And I also never went to a dentist in like 15 years. So, you know, I was long overdue, and all of my back teeth were broken and shattered into my gums. And I never went to a dentist, and I just dealt with the pain like every single day for many, many years. Anytime I chewed something, you ever see like an anime or whatever, and like that bolt of lightning goes through their head when they come to the realization of something shocking? It was like that. I'd eat like ramen noodles or a peanut butter sandwich, and it felt like broken glass is just jamming into my skull. So my face was swelling up, and I wasn't feeling really good. And my grandmother found out about it, and she took me to the dentist to go get it checked out. And I didn't want to go to the dentist, but I go to the dentist, and I shit you not, my fucking dentist, she's a Romanian woman. I can't remember her name. It's like Alexstrasia or something like that. But she's like, can you open up your mouth and let me see? And so I open up my mouth, and she goes like that. I was just like, what? It was on this side that was hurting really, really bad compared to like everything else. Like my whole mouth was hurting, but it was this side that was really hurting. But she ends up pulling the teeth on this side in the back of my mouth. See? I don't know if you can see it. All my back teeth on both sides are yanked out, top and bottom. I only have like my side teeth and my front teeth. and I have some fake teeth because that was very necessary to get taken care of. But in the middle of her doing it the first day, where she's cleaning, first or second day, but she's cleaning my teeth, she's getting all the plaque out because I had, like, I guess a lot of plaque. I didn't know about that because I never went to the fucking dentist. I'd brush my teeth, I'd floss, but I guess the shit builds up in your gums or something. But I had so much build up that her nursing assistant, her name is Brandy or something, I forgot. But she's sitting there with the vacuum and she goes, like, she fucking fainted and fell over, and I was just gonna, like, what the fuck happened? Like, that's not good. Like, I was scared. She had to quit helping my dentist so she can go lay down on one of the empty cots or whatever. My mouth was that fucking bad. She told me, this is where it comes down to the death part. She told me that if I didn't get my mouth taken care of soon, like as soon as I did, probably in the next year or two, they'd have to either I would die from infection buildup because I had so much of it. I had 23 root canals, if that answers your question. But it was either I was going to die from infection or they would have to remove my bottom jaw. And, you know, that doesn't sound very fun. I went to the dentist like maybe about 20 times last year. And I am overdue to go back, but due to the whole stupid pandemic bullshit, I'm just going to wait it out. The most recent one, and you're never going to be able to convince me otherwise on this, is last year, or I'm sorry, it wasn't last year, it was maybe 2-3 weeks ago. People have probably experienced this before. I don't want to know about your experiences because it's not really something I ever really want to ever talk about outside of me mentioning it this one time. I was asleep and I heard this fucking whisper in my ear, but it sounded like a staticky vacuum or something. I don't really know how to describe it. And I feel like it sucked my fucking soul out of my body or whatever, or sucked my entire well-being out. I remember I couldn't breathe, I couldn't move. It's basically sleep paralysis. I couldn't open up my eyes, I couldn't move my finger. I remember inside of my head screaming like, move your fucking body. And I couldn't even fucking do that. I couldn't do anything. And then I remember I was standing next to myself, staring at myself on my bed. And that's how I knew my girlfriend was home from work because she works a third shift job. She was standing and like, or no, not standing, she was asleep in the bed. And I remember I was staring at her and I was just like, okay, so she's home. But I was looking at my body and then next thing I just woke up. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I was awake the whole time, but I was able to move and I kind of like snapped back into it. And it scared the living fuck out of me. I have not slept properly since then. I actually called off of work today because I couldn't sleep because I was so scared to sleep by myself. And I'm not really afraid of anything. Like, the only thing that really startles or frightens me are like squid. And I've already talked about that before. Like, that's the only thing that really scares me. And because of this, I have not had more than maybe 4 hours of sleep a night since then, and it's terrified me ever since. So, but I'm pretty sure I fucking died, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. I feel like my heart stopped and I died, and I was able to pull myself back, and I don't believe there's an afterlife because yeah, so that's it. This video went on way longer than I thought it would. Yeah, so goodbye.